All right, so here's the reality of why most people won't get past dreaming of owning their first home and actually securing the keys to the first property. Owning a home is something that most people dream about, but the reality is that most people will never achieve it. And you might be asking why that is. Well, it's not just because property prices are sky high at times, and it's not even just because of the fact that wages haven't increased in line with the prices of houses going up. The reality is there are common mistakes that people make, misconceptions that they believe, and stumbling blocks that they don't know how to get past. So today I'm going to make sure that I break down all of this and more, and I'm going to give you the practical tools so that you can actually get on the property ladder. And if you're serious about making this a reality, you're going to want to stick around for my next video, which I'm going to drop soon, talking all about a foolproof way to help you build up a house deposit and actually get onto the property ladder. So stick around for that one. You don't want to miss out. Make sure you subscribe to be notified when that video drops. On to today's video. First up, living beyond your means. Now look, I know what it's like. Sometimes you might feel like I deserve to go on that holiday. I deserve to drive a nice car. And I get it. Once in a while, things like that may make sense. But if you're serious about getting onto the property ladder, you really need to look at where your money is going and start thinking about how you can start making smart cutbacks so that you can take the same money you would have spent on a holiday or an expensive car and put it towards buying your first property. Because at the end of the day, every single pound that you spend on a luxury item is money that could have gone towards making your dreams of owning property a reality. Now look, if you're even half serious about buying your first property, you need to get your finances in order. It's just non-negotiable, right? Start by tracking your spending. Look at where the money is going. Figure out questions like, do I need to pay for that gym membership or should I work out from home? Do I need to be buying food, eating out every single week, or should I start thinking about how to food prep? This is the thing, right? Small changes, small decisions, and tracking your finances in that sort of a way are the things that will snowball into you actually having the money you need to get into the property world. Next up, not understanding the property market. Now look, many people don't do their research before diving into the property space, and that's where you hear horror stories that cause people to feel scared about the idea of jumping into property, right? It leads to missed opportunities and poor decisions. The market is constantly changing, and what worked 5 years ago might not work today. So you really want to stay informed. You want to read up on market trends. You want to follow property news and even property YouTube channels like this one. Speak to professionals who deal with property day in, day out. And look, please don't make the mistake of just reading the headlines and letting that steer you. Dig deep into the data, okay? Every media headline has an agenda and is driven by people that have something they're trying to achieve. And a lot of the time when you actually do the digging, you'll realize that things are probably not half as bad as they seem. Now let's talk about your credit history. And I'm talking specifically about your credit history and not your credit score. Two different things, which we can talk about in another video. Now, your credit history is super important when it comes to securing a mortgage, but so many people ignore it, right? A poor credit history can lead to higher interest rates or even outright rejection when it comes to applying for a mortgage. So you want to make sure that you are monitoring and keeping up to date with your credit history regularly. You can use paid for services like Experian or Equifax, or you can even go to things like Check My File or free services such as Credit Karma. The goal is to make sure that you're aware of all of the accounts that you have, you're aware of the history, you're able to see that everything is accurate, and you're staying on top of your payments. Now look, for my people who have already got a bad credit history, that doesn't have to be the end for you. There are steps that you can take practically even from now to improve your situation and get you in a much better position. In fact, there are specific lenders who specialize in working with people that have got a bad credit history, and they help people like you to get into the property space now whilst you work on improving your credit over the next few years. Now, I'll tell you up front, it will be more expensive when it comes to interest rates, like I mentioned before, but it's one of the ways that you can at least take the hit now, get into the property space, and use it as a chance to pretty much have the best of both worlds of being in property whilst fixing your credit. Back to credit history in general. Make sure you're keeping up to date with all of your payments. Avoid missed payments, avoid late payments, avoid defaults, and even getting into that position in the first place where possible, right? Make sure that you're in the electoral roll. It gives you a few extra points. And also avoid applying for new credit too often. And here's another mistake: waiting for the perfect time to buy. Now, remember those headlines that I was talking about, right? Those headlines where you have one newspaper article saying that this is a terrible time for property and how house prices are dropping, and another one that's talking about how house prices are rising. That is why I said you need to avoid being led by the headlines, right? Because so many people are misled by the media, propaganda, and all sorts of agendas that are driven to cause you to make certain decisions or not make other decisions, when in reality, there is no perfect time when it comes to property, right? Now, look, many people will hold off because they think that the property market will crash or that prices will drop and they don't want to be left in a bad situation. And I get it, right? But the truth is, There is no perfect time. The property market is unpredictable. A war could kick off that affects something, or a new prime minister could come in and say a few words that lead to interest rates going absolutely bananas. So if you're sat there trying to time the market perfectly, you may find that you end up doing nothing at all. So instead of waiting for the perfect time, you want to focus on getting yourself in the best position possible to buy, okay? That means being consistent with your savings, staying on top of your finances, improving your credit history, and understanding the general property market, right? And when you're able and ready to move quickly, that's when the right opportunities would arise. And side tip, if you're somebody who wants help with getting a realistic view of what you can afford now and how to get started in property, then hit the link in the description and book a call with me, and we can build a plan to bridge the gaps. And finally, one of the biggest mistakes that I see people making is not getting professional advice. Now, look, the property market can be complex, and the truth is, it's one of the biggest purchases that most people will ever make in their lives, okay? So going at something like that alone can lead to expensive mistakes. For example, the right property lawyer can help you to uncover problems that you never knew existed in the property, and that can actually become negotiation points later on. And the right mortgage broker can help guide you through the property buying process, helping you to save more money than they're going to charge you in fees and help you to strategically build a property portfolio in the future. So guys, don't be afraid to ask for help. Whether it's a property lawyer, a mortgage broker, a surveyor, or even somebody that you know who's in the property space and has more experience than you, having the right professional advice can literally make all the difference. It can save you time, money, and a whole lot of stress. So there you have it. Don't live beyond your means. Make sure you understand the property market and don't ignore your credit history. Please don't wait for the perfect time. It never comes. And make sure you seek professional advice. These are the key things you want to address to help make home ownership a reality in your world. And here's the good news. Every one of the obstacles that I outlined can be overcome when you have the right knowledge and the right action. Because by taking control of your finances, educating yourself about the property market, working on your credit history, getting professional advice, you can put yourself in the best position to buy. And don't forget, if you are looking for practical steps on how to save up for a house deposit, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified as soon as I upload my next video, where I'll be talking through foolproof ways that you can save up for a deposit. And trust me, like I said, you don't want to miss it. So until next time, keep pushing forward, and remember, your dream home is within reach. Take care.